we meet periodically, whether we have a election or not. So this is not something new.
Yes.
I think that this is important so that we don't just meet when there's a big issue. So we have a relationship together, because more and more throughout the country, the Latino community is growing, not only in numbers, but in influence. So we want to be able to keep a relationship going between the district and the Latino community. I didn't start a relationship with the Latino community through the press. I've been living in this city all my life, so we've been involved in all the issues. We've been involved when I was the mayor, before I was the mayor, when I was a state legislator, everything from civic organizations, social organizations, as I say all the time, baseball, softball leagues. I played in all the Hispanic baseball leagues, and so not only here, but in Bergen County too. Now our district is moving more towards the George Washington Bridge. So we're picking up, we lost 75% of the towns that I had. So now we're adding 27 towns from Bergen and 2 towns from Hudson County, Secaucus and Kearney, half of Kearney. So it's a different perspective. I no longer have any towns in Essex County. This is what redistricting did. I got to listen to the people crying over the phone, you took good care of us, and I didn't care whether it was a Democratic mayor or Republican mayor. Nobody had any complaints about this office. We have good constituent services. Ritzy Morales, Carmen DePadua, they took care of all immigration things. And you know how our office is besieged with immigration questions. They don't want to go to Newark, they want to come here. A lot of those folks don't even live in my old district. They lived all over the place, but they know they're going to get service. They may not always get the answer that they like, but they're always going to get the service. For helping me get the word out during the primary election. You were a major part. We got 95% of the Latino vote in the district. 95%.
Very good.
We think we got more, but we know 95%. And we're very proud of that record, because you remember during the primary, there's some things, some people were saying, well, they're going to get these people are supporting the other guy. Well, 95%. You don't get 95% of any group. Not that it's a monolithic group, because everybody's different. Whether you're from Colombia, whether you're from Ecuador, Venezuela, Mexico.
Peru.
Of course, Peru. But my son just came back from Peru.
Yeah?
My son went down here by himself and went into the jungle.
Ah, this is a Peru.
I said, are you crazy?
That's a dangerous.
Like he was there before, never was there before. He had a great time, went to Machu Picchu.
Cusco, yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So he had a good time. He's got a lot of pictures.
The food is very good.
You gotta understand is that no group is monolithic. That means everybody thinks the same and does the same. And we got to get away from those stereotypes. People have stereotypes of Latinos. My job, part of my job, is to make sure that they understand that that's not true. That they're individuals like anybody else, like gringos are individuals, you know, believe it or not. So this is important to me. I just wanted to thank each and every one of you. If you had anything to do with getting our ideas out there, it was very helpful, and we got a great response. Every rally that we had, there was an abundance of Latino folks at that rally. Even when we had
Merecidamente las gracias por haber distribuido el mensaje de la última campaña. Fue un gran éxito para la campaña. Recibimos el 95% del voto latino. A pesar de que hubo muchas polémicas, y a pesar de que otras personas consideraban que personas locales que no le iban a dar el respaldo al congresista, nosotros salimos triunfantes, y por ende él está muy agradecido a la comunidad latina y en especial a los medios latinos por su colaboración y ayuda. Sir, you want to meet everyone?
It was exciting. It was very exciting. Then on election night, thank you very much. Then on election night, that was something else. I saw some of you there. So, you know that the president's initiative, remember I predicted what was going to happen. This is the beginning of immigration reform. So if we can respond with integrity to the children of folks who got here this way, that way, not punish them, but bring them into the mainstream, and this is thousands are coming forward, I think it will be the stepping stone to immigration reform. And after this happened, now I'm more positive than ever that the American Dream Act can be passed. I'm co-sponsor of that. I feel, I've talked to Guterres, I've talked to Menendez, I've talked to Serrano. I think we got a good shot at this. Linda Sanchez and Loretta Sanchez, Nydia Velasquez. We're confident that we can get this done. And I think the president was a gutsy mood in the middle of a campaign to do something like that. Because you know, you know what certain people in certain parts of the country think about immigrants. They forgot how they got here. You know, but oh, that was good immigration, not this is bad immigration. Well, they better start looking at the numbers. Because in many of the states, you see what the increase in the Latino population from all over, Central America, South America. You see what the increase of the Latino population is. So that in 20 and 40 years, the millions will be added to the population, many of them will be Latino, and truly becoming a much more society of immigrants.
Right.
And this is interesting. This is how it was, and this is what it's going to be. Right. So if you don't like it, maybe you should move to another country. That's what they say about us, right? I'm a strong believer in Medicare and Social Security. I will not vote to privatize either one of them. They've tried to do this 3 or 4 times, to privatize it, so it doesn't become a federal program. They're not going to save money. It's going to increase the cost. Healthcare is very important, particularly to the Latino community, many of whom are not covered, no insurance. So what do you mean? They don't have a right to some kind of health care? The government can't do everything for everybody. It never should do everything for everybody, but there are certain things that they have to help with. People have to get health care. They have to be able to know who to go to. And for Mr. Romney to suggest they can go to the emergency room, which Bush was the same statement he made 4 years ago, they go to the emergency room. It's the most expensive part of any hospital, the emergency room. This is not health care. This is putting a Band-Aid on something.
Yeah.
There's a purpose for the emergency room. And what's happened is everybody goes to the emergency room even for a headache. And if they don't have insurance, who's paying for it? So this is not a government program. We're paying, the taxpayers around this table are paying for those people who don't have insurance.
You have to go to the office.
Which office?
So the immigration is not the only problem for Latinos. And we have other issues like education and also the jobs. We need jobs, the economics and everything besides the immigration. What do you think that is the main problem besides the immigration for Latinos?
Jobs, education, keeping our kids in school,
The security.
and there's something being there for them. Because if you're bored and they cannot relate, then education will be a failure. We can't afford to have failures. We can't afford to have people dropping out of school. They don't understand what the results are. They don't understand what the consequences are. They got problems sometimes at home. They got problems if the parents are out of work. And they bring everything to school. And to them, they don't see the necessity of going to school. Why am I here? So we got to have some hope that there'll be a job at the end of the line, whether they go to college, whether they don't go to college, whether they go to trade school, technical school, whatever whatever they want to do. And you're absolutely right. I've spent my whole time in these 16 years in the Congress fighting to keep jobs here in the United States of America. When Latinos first came to this country, the bulk of them in the 50s, 60s, and 70s and 80s, many of them worked in manufacturing jobs like Italians did when they got here. And they were good paying jobs, steady jobs. As the jobs went overseas, they didn't have the skills to do other things, like Italians didn't have the skills. People that came from Italy. That's, I'm Italian, 100% Italian, so I know what people went through. Until the second and third generation saw the necessity of having an education. Because jobs are going to ask for a diploma in high school. Now they're going to ask for a diploma from community college, 2 years or 4 years. You've got to have education. You don't have to go to college. You go to technical school. You can learn a craft. This is important. This is significant. I want to build the middle class, not shrink the middle class. We don't want there to be more rich people and more poor people and the rest of the people here. We want to expand the middle class. Everybody's got a shot.
That's good.
That to me is very important. So education and jobs go together. And the jobs that left, I'm trying to fight to get those jobs back. I've introduced legislation to do that. The President talked about it in the State of the Union address this past February. So that let's have tax credits for companies. Do this in Spanish, please.
Okay.
For companies that bring jobs back to the United States for our people. You know what? Let me just conclude with this point. I want to help Dominican Americans first before I want to help Dominicans in Dominican Republic. Do you understand what I mean?
Of course.
Most people say, well, what do you mean you don't want to help Dominican Republic? You didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah.
And when I was over, the last time I was in Afghanistan, I see all the roads that we're helping to build. And I say, I know a lot of roads in Paterson, New Jersey that need to be rebuilt. But we don't have the resources. The city don't have the resources for it. We got to find the resources. Let's take care of our people here first.
Okay.
We'll take care of those. We've always been a good country, a compassionate country. Pat?
Él dice que una de sus mayores preocupaciones ha sido trabajo y la educación. En los últimos 16 años ha luchado ha creado leyes para mantener trabajos aquí en los Estados Unidos. Como nieto de inmigrantes, especialmente inmigrantes italianos, entienden cuál es la realidad del inmigrante. Muchos llegaron a este país, trabajaban en las empresas, ¿cómo se dice? Manufacturing.
En las fábricas.
En las fábricas, y muchos de esos trabajos se perdieron.
Good to see you. Tom, get a couple chairs. Pull them right out of my office.
Muchos de esos trabajos se perdieron. Entonces, una de las cosas que él está impulsando, siéntense. Una de las cosas que él está impulsando es que haya un crédito de impuestos para las compañías que regresen a los Estados Unidos y que traigan trabajos nuevamente a los Estados Unidos. Por ejemplo, sir, you could tell them about the Girl Scouts and what you did with them.
Yeah, there's a factory in Passaic that makes Girl Scout cookies. So the Girl Scouts go around and sell cookies. This is how they stay alive. That factory, not the cookies, the clothing. That's another problem. The cookies. No, the clothing, Girl Scout clothing. That company was going to move to China. The company that makes the Girl Scout uniforms for many Latino scouts, many gringo scouts, everybody. They were going to move. We stepped in. We said, you cannot do this. You cannot make American. It's like the Olympics, the uniforms they made in China.
Everything's
What?
made in China.
Oh, too late. And then we lose the jobs over here. So, very serious problem. We can do something about it. The company decided to stop and stay here. and they're happy for it. We had a press conference there. Latino press, some of the Latino press was there, because there were many Latinos working in that factory.
Right.
What street was that on?
I don't know, it's in Passaic, sir. I don't know the factory though, where it's located. It's in Passaic.
The first.
Into the society. Like every other immigrant group before, not the last 150 years, this is where you enter, either you go to school or you send your kids to school to have a better life than that individual. We can do this. We can give tax credits to the companies and corporations that bring the jobs back here. This is what I want to do.